Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast of your favorite team in the Bay Area. And Kaapo Kahkonen has established himself as the goaltender of the future, or at least for now. So we're going to talk about the Sharks' 2-1 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. On my Kaapo Kahkonen, this is his best game in teal. Kevin Labanc's return to the top line, and more on today's episode of Locked On Sharks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor at Fear the Fin, RIP, and San Jose Hockey Now. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Cover your team every day. You can find us wherever you get podcasts. Of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And Kaapo Kahkonen, this is what we have been waiting for with Kaapo Kahkonen. He was electric tonight, shutting down Vegas all night long. I know the Sharks lost 2-1. We know the Sharks are going to lose a lot of games. This is what can we build on from here for the future. And I think you have to be excited about the way Kaapo Kahkonen has really found his game the last few, basically since the start of February, has found his game and has been the guy for the Sharks. And tonight, I think, was kind of that cherry on top game where you're like, okay, we think we have found a guy who can be the goaltender of the future for us. And the way the saves he was making, I mean, the Vegas was just, it was an onslaught from Vegas tonight. Kaapo Kahkonen tonight saved. So he had 36 saves on 38 shots. Vegas, in all situations, had 81 shot attempts on Kaapo Kahkonen tonight. And the Sharks did a fairly good job of blocking shots tonight. But Kaapo Kahkonen was under siege tonight, and he kept the Sharks in this game until the very bitter end of this game and deserved better from the Sharks. But you have to be excited about what we have seen from Kaapo Kahkonen, kind of since February 1st. And I know small sample size, but compared to what we've seen at the beginning of the season to what we're seeing now from Kaapo Kahkonen, it is night and day. Let's kind of dig into what we have seen from him and kind of, the turnaround. And I'm going to start with that game before the All-Star break. 2 games before the All-Star break. So they play Tampa Bay. They win 4-3 in overtime. In that game, he makes 34 of 38 saves, 919 save percentage. Against Florida 2 nights later, they lose 4-1. It looks way worse because they had scored 2 empty netters. He only gave up 2 goals in that game against that Panthers team, which was dumb. Again, they had 40 shots on him. 38 of 40, save 38 of 40 shots, 950 save percentage. Again, just another night where Kaapo Kahkonen under siege. Next game, against the Caps, that's the game where he left early and got hurt, but he had made 12 of 13 saves, and the one save is this where he got hit in the head as the goal is getting scored. Was stellar, in that game as well before his injury. And then tonight, like I said, I think this was the best game because there was so many just him bailing out his teammates for making mistakes. The Sharks played absolutely poorly tonight. And they had no business being this close in this game. And Kaapo Kahkonen was the only reason that they were even close to even taking this to overtime, let alone winning this game for a good chunk of it. 36 saves on 38 shots, 947 save percentage. So I know at the beginning of the year was rough, but Kaapo Kahkonen has found his groove, and right now you have to be feeling much better about Kaapo Kahkonen's game than you were a month ago at this time. What Reimer's been out, Reimer has not played in a while now. You have to be feeling good about Kaapo Kahkonen's future and what the Sharks potentially have in Kaapo Kahkonen. Now, I don't know if he will ever be like a star goalie, but can he be just one less question you have to answer for the future? I think so. James Reimer has not played a game since January 27th against the Hurricanes. That's the last time. It's been we're on 3 weeks now since we've seen James Reimer. I don't know if this is holding him out for trade-related reasons with them not saying anything. We know apparently there was an injury bug running through the dressing room while they were on a flu bug running through the dressing room while they were on the road trip. An injury bug would be really funny, like a little bug that just comes up and touches you and you get injured. But no, flu bug running through the dressing room while they were on the road trip. Some guys missed, I think like Vlasic missed a game. There was kind of, some guys missing games here and there. And you wonder if he's kind of just dealing with the worst of it. But Kaapo Kahkonen has taken this opportunity and run with it. And it's not like the Sharks have been playing slouch teams, right? I mean, some of the teams that the Sharks have played recently, these have been excellent teams, playoff caliber teams, and again, they played another playoff caliber team tonight. And he has been outstanding. So good to see. I know Sheng had an article with Mike McKenna about Kaapo Kahkonen. He might needs to kind of go to the work from the ground up on fixing some of his mechanics and stuff like that. And that could still be an issue. Again, maybe we're on a bit of a hot streak with Kaapo Kahkonen. More than we have seen that with goalies in the past where they get hot for a couple weeks and then maybe cool off. But right now, though, you have to feel excited about Kaapo Kahkonen. This is what you traded for, hoping to maybe find a guy, put him in a new situation, and then he would be able to kind of flourish. And it's taken a little bit of time to get there, but I think we're finally getting there. The Sharks schedule is still a little. They're playing a bunch of home games right now. We know the Sharks are terrible at home. They're not going to be playing this gauntlet of a road trip that they had, but hopefully Kaapo Kahkonen, he can continue to kind of build on this foundation and really, again, prove that I'm not a question mark going into this offseason. I can be someone that you can build around and be someone here for the long term. That is what the Sharks are doing right now, trying to find guys who they can build around and be answers to questions instead of questions that need to be answered. So before we get into this game some more, talk about Kevin Labanc's return to the top line. This game was a lot going on in this game. So let's take a quick break. Talk to you guys about our friends over at Built Bar. If you guys don't know by now, Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar out there. If you're looking for a delicious treat but don't want all the fat and calories, you have to try Built Bar. They're covered in 100% chocolate. Like, what more do you want right there? But they're still good for you. They taste like a candy bar while maintaining their healthiness with only 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and a whopping 17 grams of protein. And if you're like me, you hate waiting for stuff, you can head over to Walmart, pick up a box today, get a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, coconut puffs. Or if you have a Sam's Club membership, run into Sam's Club, grab a 13-bar box with a hit flavors, brownie batter, and churro. Or if you don't like to leave the house, Built.com has got you covered as well. They have a wide variety of flavors that are always changing all the time. Or if you can't figure out which one you like, check out the variety box. It's got a little bit of everything so you can find the perfect bar for you. So make sure you guys are checking out Built Bar at either Walmart, Sam's Club, or at Built.com. Okay. I think we'd start with Kevin Labanc. So this game was really weird because, one, the Sharks were on the penalty kill 7 times this game. And I know Vegas's power play has been atrocious lately, especially with Mark Stone being out. This power play has been bad. I think they said on the broadcast at one point they were like 1 for 21. You can throw 7 more on that. So they're 1 for 28 in their last and on the power play recently. That's stinky. But Sharks, I mean, even strength, the Sharks kind of held their own in this game. They actually, so like the shot percentage favor the Sharks 51.11 to 48.89. 23 to 22 shots. High danger chances, Vegas got the best of the Sharks, 16-9. Scoring chances, 32 to 21 in favor of Vegas. Expected goals for was 2.38 to 2.22. When you throw in the power play, that's when things get really, really wonky and really turn the favor into for the Vegas Golden Knights. Like I said, I mean, you go from 22 shots for to 37 shots for Vegas when you include in all situations. Like, it's pretty crazy what Kaapo Kahkonen did tonight. So let's dig into the lines and see how they did, especially with it's going to be a little wonky here. So we're going to try to kind of get the most out of it. Nico Sturm left after the first period. He took a puck kind of like right between the elbow and arm. Like it looked like it hurt a lot. He came back in the second period. I don't know. Guy's a freaking monster. But he had to kind of move to wing in that spot because he couldn't take face-offs. Like, you wonder if this might keep him out for a couple games. Adrenaline probably got him through this game. But you wonder if he might be out for a couple games here if this elbow thing is kind of bothering him. So I'm just calling it an elbow because that's kind of where he got hit, was kind of that like elbow underarm area there. So I'm pointing to myself on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. But so the lines are a little funky here when you kind of start getting. So let's try to look at who played kind of the most together. But with that happening, Nick Bonino, who started the game on the first line with Hertl and Meyer, moved back to the 3C position because, again, like the Sharks, who else are you going to put there, right? Svechnikov, no. Like Gregor, no. We've seen that story before. Labanc, no. Like Lindblom, no. Like they just don't have a lot of guys who can kind of slide into that center spot. So Nick Bonino, come on down. He kind of took over that center spot for the Sharks while they kind of figured. And then Sturm in the second period came back and kind of, he played on Bonino's wing. But they gave an opportunity for one. Kevin Labanc, come on back, buddy. And I think he made the most of his opportunity tonight. So you saw kind of when he was back up there, that's when the Sharks' first line started to really generate offense again. In a game, again, where they were heavily outshot, especially in all situations. On the PK a lot, like they did not get a chance to really kind of generate a lot of sustained pressure. They were playing mostly defense tonight. So let's dig into the lines. Labanc, Hertl, Meyer, 8:49 time on ice. 14 Corsi for, 7 allowed. Again, the Sharks were heavily outshot this game. 14 for, 7 shot attempts allowed. Actual shots was 8-4. They did give up a goal. Expected goals for was 0.55. Had a 0.46 expected goals for. And again, 3 high danger chances, gave up 3, and 3 offensive zone starts for them. So again, this game is a very choppy game, very sloppy game. Barabanov, Couture, AC Mont, 704, 12 shot attempts, gave up 7. So 63% Corsi. 8 shot attempts, 4 gave up 4. Did have the goal. Barabanov, 8 points in 6 games for Barabanov. The Sharks going to trade Barabanov at some point and get a nice little haul for him. Yeah, he's kind of good. So, but that Couture, AC Mont, Barabanov line has really kind of come together on the fly this season, and I think it's just because they such a kind of variety of skill sets. and each guy kind of has their role. AC Mott kind of is I'm going to play kind of like the on the edge, kind of mix it up a little bit. Barabanov is I'm going to lead the transition. Couture is I'm going to get to the net and then play kind of the defensive role on this line, and it's been working really well for this line. So expected goals 4.77, 0.15 expected goals allowed, and 3 offensive zones, 7 neutral zone, 2 defensive zone starts. So next was the Gregor Bonino Sturm. I wonder with Gregor, he's taken a fair amount of bad penalties, and I know the Sharks are running out of forward bodies about having to call people up right now, especially with, we know Kevin Labanc's been in the doghouse, but you're starting to kind of run out of guys here, and you wonder how much longer until they realize they're going to have to call up reinforcements here from the Barracuda. So just as a quick reminder of guys who are out for the Sharks, pulling up the list right now. Thanks a lot, Cap Friendly. So of course, right, Luke Cunnin done for the season. Okay, Gadovich week to week right now on IR. Like, you're starting to run out of some bodies. So we'll see what they do with Eklund. We know they want to kind of keep Eklund on Bordelot. Maybe VL comes up. Kyle Crew, like Cease maybe. Like Cease has kind of come up before. VL, well, maybe they pull up one of these guys here. It does sound like Scott Reedy should be coming back to return for the Barracuda here soon. Hasn't really done too much, I think, this year to be warranted. So we'll see what they do if they're maybe looking to pull a guy up here to try to kind of get him up to get some reinforcements as they have a homestand here. I know the Barracuda are on the road right now, so it's kind of a little weird. They'd have to pull somebody home, but again, they're in Vancouver. It's not like it's that far away, or Abbotsford, which I assume is over by Vancouver. Sorry, geography. All right. But anyway, Noah Gregor, though, a lot of bad penalties recently, and I haven't really we talked about Noah Gregor a lot on this podcast. So, but 506, 3 shot attempts for, 6 allowed. Actual shots was 1-3. Did give up a brutal goal at the end. Tough way to lose that game in the last 16 seconds. But I mean, the Sharks that's what they have been doing all season long, right? Is giving up the worst time goals all year long. So that's one of the, like, Bonino, I think it was Bonino and Benning, if I remember correctly, are both trying to kind of cover the same guy. So Vlaxic's covering his guy off the face-off, and Bonino and Benning both go to the same guy, and Will Carrier just kind of leaks out, and Bonino should stick with him, right? Because Benning was kind of the closer guy to, he was kind of right on his man. Bonino should have recognized that earlier, leaked out, gone with the leaking out Carrier to try to stop that. Carrier's wide open, and Kaapo Kahkonen makes a great effort to try to get across, but yep, that's what bad teams do, right? Little mistakes become catastrophic, and that's been the theme of the Sharks season all season long. So, and then finally, Lindblom, Lawrence Svechnikov, 3:33 time on ice. Yeah, sorry guys. 1 shot attempt, 3 allowed. Actual shots was 1, so good for them. Didn't do much offensively. At least they didn't give up much defensively as well. So, yeah, again, that's what happens when you're having to play penalty kill all game and such. So, but yeah, so again, what we have seen from the Sharks is we've seen this all season long, right? Is they figure one thing out, kind of beginning of the season, they figure out the offense is rolling. We're going to score, 4, 5, 6 goals a night, but the goaltending is just going to kind of poop the bed. Now, if, goaltending, Kaapo Kahkonen is really kind of found his groove recently, and then the Sharks can't score any goals. So because they keep going on the penalty kill, they keep taking, and it's the stick infractions, right? The tripping, high sticks, the stuff like that you can kind of control a little bit more. That's just kind of being lazy. And so, yeah, that's, again, hopefully the hope is all this stuff balances out in the future, and like next year, maybe more fun, exciting team. You start getting some of this puck luck going the other way for you. So, let's do 3 fries. Haven't done 3 fries in a while. So, 3 fries of the week. So, a little weird this week, especially with kind of how, the Sharks have been playing a little bit better. But we haven't, like, we got the amazing Erik Karlsson game the other day, but it's been a little quiet recently. Hasn't scored again. It's Erik Karlsson hasn't scored in 2 games, and we're like, oh God, something wrong with Erik Karlsson. No, he's fine. Just a tad quiet from what we've seen. Really quick on Karlsson, MacDonald. Really didn't feel like that pairing meshed very well tonight. You could see where Karlsson's trying to do stuff, and MacDonald just hasn't played with him enough. And then he's, that's what led to the 2-on-1 breakaway that scored on the first goal, right? Was MacDonald trying to kind of pinch and kind of go in instead of just being the more kind of responsible partner. Karlsson, and then that spot, Karlsson played it right. You're on a 2-on-1. The defenseman is supposed to cut down the shooting lane, and you hope that the goalie can take out the shooter. Cotter just hell of a snipe. Not much you can do there, right? Sharks are kind of playing with fire all night with that. They gave up a lot of breakaways in this game, but it's just little stuff like that. And it's, again, MacDonald, I know he just got here. He's been here for a couple of weeks. He hasn't even played with Karlsson that much. So you wonder if we see that pairing going forward more, if that's going to be kind of Karlsson's partner for the future, or at least the rest of the season. We know how much, I think Quinn, it just needs to be like, MacDonald, clear out, let Karlsson do his thing. I just need you to be a very, very responsible defenseman. Kind of cover for Karlsson doing his stuff. That's kind of how the system works the best. Let Karlsson do his stuff offensively, and then, kind of be there to kind of help cover and just be, defense. So hopefully they kind of work out some of those kinks. So, I didn't even talk about, I forgot to bring up Kaapo Kahkonen's numbers. So I talked about how great Kaapo Kahkonen was. Again, 16 high, all situations, 16 high danger shots, 14 saves. Mercy. 875 high danger save percentage. Perfect medium danger on 10 shots. Perfect low danger on 11 shots. Expected goals against 465. So almost, Vegas should have had almost 5 goals in this game. They gave up 2. And neither one of them you can be like, you should have had. Both those were, not Kaapo Kahkonen's fault. Anyway. All right, 3 fries. Let's go. 3rd fry of the week. I guess Timo Meier. I mean, how can you just not keep giving? I know he didn't. He scored the only goal against Pittsburgh. He's just been an absolute monster. I'm gonna miss Timo Meier when he's playing for the Devils. So, 2nd star, Alexander Barabanov. Like I mentioned earlier, 8 goals or 8 points in 6 games. Really has found his role with the Sharks and has flourished in that role. I was hesitant. I will admit, I was very hesitant on giving him this extension. I thought maybe last year was kind of the peak that you're going to see from him, and he shut me up. So you found, again, a lot of times it's finding the right guy to play with. Barabanov, Couture, it goes together like peanut butter and jelly. Just the way that they play and the way they play off each other. Barabanov has been great, and he is most deserving of his role, and the Sharks really, really found and developed something and turned him into something. So Be interesting to see. It might. I wonder. Just again, me speculating. He's got a deal of 2.5 million. If a team comes asking for Barabanov, do you like? I know he has a modified no trade, so he has 10 teams that he can't be traded to. If a team really comes asking, because I mean, getting a guy like Barabanov who might be a 50-point scorer for you for $2.5 million, he's got 35 points this year in 50 games. Like, could Barabanov, or sorry, 36 now. He scored again tonight. That doesn't even include this game from tonight. His 36 points, and like Barabanov could be pushing 50 points. 50-point guy for $2.5 million. Do the Sharks, if somebody asks, do you have to give? So just throwing it out there. Wouldn't be surprised. Or if I'm Mike Greer, I'm definitely, I think, offering him up. Anyway, Kaapo Kahkonen, first star. Guy's been an absolute monster since the beginning of February, and tonight was his best game in teal. Gives us hope. You hope if Kaapo Kahkonen, Etu Makanemi's been playing well in the AHL, continues to build. You have the Finnish tandem here. You have Strauss-Mann kind of being your third guy. Maybe a little bit of hope, and at least in the goaltending department. So that's going to be it for me tonight. Be back on Monday. So I know everybody's off. There's a matinee game. So yeah, we'll talk about a lot of hockey this weekend. Between we have the Sabres game and we got some Barracuda games, so we'll get those covered on Monday. More draft profiles coming next week. Have a very fun Barracuda interview as well for next week too. So make sure you guys keeping it locked here on Locked On Sharks, your team every day. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Mike Fryhole. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Subscribe wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and watch on YouTube as well. So make sure if you haven't on YouTube, click the subscribe button, give it a little like, little comment, all that fun stuff. So until Monday, bye, friends.